Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at the Saris MHS 2 bike rack, which is going to be the 2+1 base and the 2 duo trays, and we'll see how it all fits here on our 2019 Newmar Bay Star Motorhome. The MHS is probably one of my favorite motorhome bike racks because you still have that 80-pound weight capacity and you have that dual wheel mount design, and it's motorhome compatible, meaning it is designed to have that extra strength and durability to handle the extra stress of being so far away from the rear axle. Now, with a Bay Star motorhome though, there are some unique things that you are going to have to consider when carrying those extra heavy electric bikes. The main thing is it sits up very high up off the ground. So if you want to take advantage of the 80-pound weight capacity, that's also 80 pounds that you're lifting this high up. Another thing is that you do have a ladder behind your motorhome, and that may cause a little bit of fitment issues. For example, we were not able to tilt up this rack into the compact position, but behind a motorhome, it usually doesn't matter. You'll have it in the down and ready to drive position anyways. The other thing we noticed is that if you have longer handlebars for your mountain bikes, these may or may not clear. I'll give you a good measurement here. From the center to the end of the handlebar, we have it at 13 inches. So this is probably going to be the max. 26-inch long handlebars is probably going to be the max length that you can carry with your rearmost tray, or the tray closest to the motorhome. But other than that, for all your different types of bikes of different shapes and sizes, it should be good. I mentioned the 80-pound weight capacity. Other capacities are this has a 5-inch tire width that this can carry and a 53-inch wheelbase that's good. The Saris MHS can be moved around into different positions, so I would recommend, because of the ladder, have the rear wheel on the driver's side and then the front wheel on the passenger side. That way you don't have your handlebars bumping up against the ladder either, and then the second tray can follow. Some other things to measure here is going to be the length this adds to the back of the Bay Star. So from that bumper to the end of the rack, that's 34 inches. And then for ground clearance, which is probably going to be the most important thing, we're going to go from the tray to the ground. That's 29.25 inches. Where bikes are going to sit is 31.5 inches. That's really high up off the ground. So just be careful with that when you have those extra heavy electric bikes. You may want to have another person help you out to get that up and onto the tray. But once it's onto the tray, what's holding everything in place is 3 touch points, technically 4. The rear is going to be your rear wheel, so you have a strap as well as a rear cradle. We're going to start by taking off that strap, by pressing that lever, lifting up on the strap, and what I like to do is I like to tuck that strap into its keeper at the end. And then we're gonna focus on trying to get our bike off. So my trick for it is I push in on the mount. That gives me releases some tension, so I can press the lever and then pull that mount away. This can lower as low as you need it to go. In our case, as close to the ground as it can go. We're gonna get that front wheel, press lever, push out, and then grab our bike. Just like that. I have a very light bike here, so this was no problem. But you can imagine how difficult that would be with a heavier bike. With the bike off, we can take a closer look over there at the tray. So I said there's 4 points of contact. What's the 4th one? Well, it's going to be that chock over there by the front wheel. That gives it that extra weight capacity for those heavier bikes, holding it in place. The downside to that chock, though, is you can't move your bikes back and forth for better clearances. So hopefully these trays are long enough to fit most of your bikes without any issues one to the other. Bringing this back up, we're going to move it into its compact, neat position. And I'll show you as well how, if you wanted to, you can tilt it away. Most people will not be using this option on the motorhome. And how we are unable to tilt this up towards our motorhome because of that ladder. So you are going to have to just be leaving it in this position pretty much all the time, which in our case is totally fine. You're already taking up so much space with the motorhome. What's an extra 2 feet or so? With all that being said, please make sure you first have a 2-inch hitch receiver in order to carry this bike rack. Once you weight the bike rack, which is about 60 pounds, and the bikes, that can get very heavy. So all that weight on that tongue or on that hitch is very important to know your tongue weight capacity. This does have a lock with that anti-rattle bolt that secures it into the hitch, and that lock can be keyed alike to the locks on the tray. That way, if you are parked at the campground and you have your bikes loaded in the back, you can lock everything together and you only need to use one key for everything. With all that being said, I really like this bike rack for motorhomes. It's very rare to have that much weight capacity and that little effort to loading the bikes paired together. It was really just 2 levers and a strap that I had to deal with. Compared to other RV rated racks, those usually take a lot of bolts and nuts and pins and levers to get everything in place. This was fast, this was easy, but also heavy duty. So hopefully this will help when this will work with your bikes, and that this video helped you out with seeing if it will. This right here was a look at the Saris MHS kit with the 2+1 base and the 2 duo trays, and you saw it on the 2019 Newmar Bay Star Motorhome. My name is Evangeline, and I hope you enjoyed the journey.